Now, we're going to stay in the UK because the big question, how will Britain's borders work when it leaves the European Union? That is the question facing bosses of the ports of Calais, Zeebrugge and Eurotunnel when they meet later to discuss evidence and give evidence to British MPs.
Well, the biggest concern is a no-deal Brexit, where Britain leaves the single market and customs union with no free trade agreement in place and reverts to World Trade Organization rules.
Well, Lesley Batchelor is with us, Director General at the Institute of Export and International Trade. Lesley, welcome to Business Live. That is the issue, isn't it? We potentially could be in a situation where we have no deal, and that means that all the rules that we take for granted now as far as ports and imports, exports are concerned, are off the table. What happens?
Well, quite simply, we have to prepare ourselves for this. We have got 180,000 businesses that only trade in the EU that are going to need to get their act together and find out how to trade with the rest of the world, because that's effectively what the EU will become, the rest of the world.
And what does that mean in terms, in practical terms? In our mind, we just think of delays, lots of paperwork, red tape, lots of form filling.
Well, I suppose it is. It's lots of form filling. It's about understanding your responsibilities. It's about understanding things like what we call rules of origin that are going to start to really impact on our businesses if we're bringing in goods from different countries and trading them or manufacturing them into something else. The amount of time we spend assembling them means that it impacts on the rules of origin that attract the trade tariffs.
And amid all that uncertainty, it's not surprising that we hear some pretty wild scare stories or some worst case scenarios. And just this weekend, reading about queues that would stretch nearly all the way to London from the coast, that we would run out of medicine, we would run out of food supplies, because all of that stuff is caught up in customs at the port. Are we really going to see stuff like that?
Well, it's not out of the realms of possibility at all. I'm hoping that we'll get something organised before that.
But hope, and that's the issue, that hope doesn't really work for business, does it?
The way we stand at this very moment, we cannot cope with what's going to happen. And that's just the way it is. And I think that's what the guys from Zeebrugge and Calais are going to tell us, that they are not set up for this. They're set up for a free trading environment, and that's what we're going to hear.
And just briefly, Lesley, I mean, a big key to this is technology, won't it, in the future, to make this as seamless as possible and digitising the system. How far are we with that, do we think?
Well, I mean, the problem with digitising the system is that there are a lot of movements that go one way and another. So you get a situation where they're cross borders to do one part of manufacturing and then go across another border. I think we've already spoken about cars that can cross the channel up to 7 times. That's a lot of paperwork and that's a lot of processing, and it's going to be quite a complex system that I don't think exists at this very moment.
Another story we will discuss at length soon, I'm sure. Lesley, thanks for explaining that so far, but we'll speak again, I'm sure. Thank you.
I know many of our colleagues actually in the business unit, the likes of Simon Jack, our business editor, and others are going to be watching that grilling of those individuals we mentioned in the Parliamentary Select Committee later today. So keep an eye on us for more on that.